Russian tennis players will not be allowed to compete at Wimbledon this year. For reaction to this, we're joined live by Karl Hale, the tournament director of the National Bank Open. And Karl, appreciate you being here this afternoon because, of course, Wimbledon, in many tennis eyes is sort of the premier Grand Slam event on the calendar here. What's been the reaction of the tennis world so far to banning Russian and Belarusian competitors?
Yeah, it's never happened before. And back in March, the T7, which is the 4 Grand Slams, the ITF, ATP, and WTA put out a joint release supporting the players. So this is kind of a change of face, so to speak. So everybody's surprised by this. The last time something like this happened was in 1973 when a federation banned Nikki Pulic and over 80 players boycotted. So it'll be interesting to see what happens from here with the players and other federations.
And Karl, do you think then, is Wimbledon sort of an outlier then, or do you think this puts pressure perhaps on the French Open, which of course is the next Grand Slam on the calendar, to prevent Russian athletes here? Or is the French Open, as far as you know, holding firm and allowing them to compete?
Yeah, all indications are that this is an outlier, that, the ATP and WTA tours have put out a release, and they're very firm in their beliefs that all players, regardless of what their countries are doing or federations are doing, are allowed to play ATP and WTA events. So I believe this will be a one-off, but time will tell. And, hopefully that things change with the Ukraine-Russian crisis and it'll be over soon enough, not just for tennis players, but for all of the people involved in those countries, that, we have peace and we can move forward.
Absolutely. Now, Karl, when it comes to sort of Russian tennis players, we know, for example, in hockey, Alex Ovechkin, one of the best players in the National Hockey League, one of the leading goal scorers, has close ties to Putin's family and has received some criticism for that. When it comes to the sort of top-tier men's and women's professional tennis players, are there similar ties to Putin or the Putin regime at all, or is that sort of a more of arm's length or not even connected at all?
Yeah, I don't have I'm not privy to any information like that. And even if we did, I think they would keep arm's length at this time. But again, this whole situation is not predicated on that. It's just that it's a really sad situation that we have in Ukraine and Russia. And hopefully we can rectify this sooner than later for all involved.
And you mentioned the Wimbledon as outlier. Of course, I have to ask you, as the director of the National Bank Open, it sounds to me like the National Bank Open has no intention of banning any Russian or Belarusian players. Is that a fair assumption?
Absolutely not. We're governed by the ATP and WTA and our government, so we'll follow the protocols, directives given to us by those 3 bodies.
And Karl, before I let you go, how do you see this potentially having any impact on this year's Wimbledon? Of course, there will be fans in the stands this year. And, I don't think a Russian necessarily is in the potential favorite to win either the men's or the women's, but how could it impact the draw?
Well, you look on both sides of the draw, there's a lot of Russian and men and women that could win Wimbledon this year, namely Medvedev on the men's side and Sabalenka on the women's side. And there's a lot of other Russian men. So it'll have a tremendous impact, not only on who could win the title, but also the makeup of the draw, because now the number 3 man in the world will be the number 2 seed, so that he won't likely have to face the number 1 seed in the semifinals. So it has huge ramifications on all the players involved in the draw.
And of course, we'll still see if Novak Djokovic is allowed to play based on his vaccination status as well. That's the other question that's sort of hanging over the tour this year, isn't it, Karl?
Exactly. Yeah, hopefully by then, all of these things have kind of cleared the air and we're back to normal by June.
Okay, Karl, appreciate the perspective and insight this afternoon. Karl Hale, Tournament Director for the National Bank Open. Always appreciate you being on the show here.
Thanks for having me.